Barak Yahweh Shai, all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakwadash. Double honors to our apostles at Great Millstone who taught us the truth and who rule well. Peace, love, salutation, and mercy be unto the hopeful elect. Back again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Ratazah, this lesson is edifying unto the ears of you hopeful elect. China's digital economy exceeds 5 trillion in 2019. And what is a digital economy? It's similar to, a regular economy, but with slight differences. One, you can cut out pretty much these huge, companies that it takes for you to ship goods and services, directly to you. And you can purchase it directly online, such as purchasing a book, or purchasing, maybe you want to listen to a soundtrack or maybe even to watch a movie. You instead of having to get up and to go to a store and to actually purchase, that good, you would just have it downloaded, into your phone, or into your computer, so that's what a digital economy is. And there's other, intricates, and aspects to a digital economy. It doesn't have to just be something that's done, online in regards to a purchase, but it can also be a purchase that you go and you make somewhere, and instead of having that good shipped to you, you can just pay for it wirelessly, through a digital wallet or digital payment system. And this payment system is going to replace the traditional way of buying, and selling, throughout the world. All right. Throughout the world, there's going to be a new system of payment that's going to be introduced, and that is going to be the RFID chip, mark of the beast system, in which you use digital currency through a digital wallet, which will be the RFID chip or the brain implant, and you will use that to make purchases. Now, reading on within this article, which was published November 25th, 2020, and it was published on RT. It says a new report by the Chinese Academy of Cyberspace Studies showed the nation's digital economy reached 35.8 trillion yuan. What is that? That's 5.45 trillion, in American dollars. Last year, accounting for 36.2% of the country's total GDP. The report confirms that the COVID 1984 pandemic has underscored the importance of the internet, and that's the reason why you seeing the amount of money from Jeff Bezos, or Bezos, however you pronounce his name, in other online companies, in social media platforms such as Facebook. You've seen the money of them, soar into the billions under this pandemic. The majority of people were afraid to go outside and purchase things, so that they would have those things delivered to them. And there was no cash involved. There was no physical dollars or change that was used, to purchase these goods, or to purchase these services. It was all done electronically, or digitally, through whatever payment source they used. While the digital economy has become an important force in mitigating the impact of the CV, which I'm going to say that for this particular disease that's going around, reshaping the economy and improving governance capabilities According to the research cited in the report, by the end of May, China's fiber optic network had covered all urban and rural areas, with the number of fiber optic subscribers accounting for 93.1% of the country's fixed broadband users, the highest in the world. Which these fiber optic systems, that's the fastest way to, you know, transfer information from one place to another. It's through fiber optics, which is amazing, because it uses light, and nothing travels faster than the speed of light, not even the speed of sound. So they're upgrading these systems to 5G, from 4G. 4G being fourth generation, 5G being fifth generation, which causes information to travel even faster than 4G. And it's through these 5G systems, that this new payment method or payment system, or this digital economy, is going to work. So they're going to connect people to what is known as the IoT, the Internet of Things, which is going to be based off of the internet, and the internet speeds are going to move at 5G, until they come up with something, or if they come up with something faster than that, which it could be 6G. All right, that's to be known. But people will be able to, through the mark of the beast, which is the brain chip or the RFID chip, they will be able to be connected to the Internet of Things. You'll be able to surf the web in your brain, and visit, certain online stores and marketplaces, and purchase goods, and they'll arrive at your house, and you'll be able to go somewhere in public, and to use the internet, that 5G internet speed, and will be able to purchase goods right there on the spot without using money. Reading on, it says in 2019, there were 5.44 million 4G base stations in China. The consumption of mobile data traffic reached 122 billion gigabytes, ranking first in the world. As of September 2020, China has built more than 480,000 5G base stations. The country's e-commerce transaction hit 34.81 trillion yuan, 5.2 trillion US dollars last year, up 6.7% year on year. Now they're saying also, with this digital economy being established, that they were able to declare victory, over absolute poverty nationwide throughout the country of China. It says lifting 99 million people from penury since 2012. The last 9 impoverished countries in China's southwestern province of Guizhou were removed from the country's poverty list on Monday. The nation thus ended absolute poverty 1 month before its imposed deadline, according to the CGTN. Since last week, authorities in the remaining province and autonomous regions with poverty-stricken countries successfully declared their localities absolutely poverty-free following extension inspections, those including Xinjiang, Uyghur Autonomous Region, I can't pronounce that word, Hui Autonomous Region, Guangxi Autonomous Region, Yunnan Province, Sichuan Province, and Gansu Province. Guizhou was the final provincial level area to declare victory over absolute poverty. Back in 2012, the Communist Party of China set a goal to end domestic poverty by the end of 2020. China's poverty line benchmark stands at 2,300 yuan per year at 10 prices, 2010 prices, or a little less than $1 a day. So pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, the average person in China, it said China poverty line benchmark stands at 2,300 yuan per day, you know, per year at the 2010 prices, or a little less than $1 a day. So I guess that was the amount that the poorest people were bringing in, or something along the lines of that. I could be wrong. In 2013, 1 in every 3 countries in China was labeled poverty stricken. The country had, 832 severely impoverished countries. Then, with over 80 million people affected, only 9 provincial level areas, including Beijing and Shanghai, were free of poor counties. According to the data from China's National Bureau of Statistics, in the past 7 years, an average of 10 million people have been lifted out of penury in China every year. The population living in absolute poverty dropped from 98.99 million at the end of 2012 to 5.51 million by late 2019. Over the same period, the number of the impoverished counties decreased from 832 to 52. And they're saying that the reason that they were able to, lift these individuals out of poverty-stricken areas was by introducing, digital economy, you know. So this digital economy is going to play a key factor within the Great Reset that's going on. And just to grab the definition of a digital economy, according to Wikipedia, it says digital economy refers to an economy that is based on digital computing technologies. Although we increasingly perceive this as conducting business through markets based on the internet and World Wide Web, the digital economy is also referred to the internet economy, new economy, or world economy. The internet economy, because you're purchasing goods and services via the internet, It says increasingly, the digital economy is intertwined with the traditional economy, making a clear delineation harder. It results from billions of everyday online connections among people, businesses, devices, data, and processes. It is based on the interconnectedness of people, organizations, and machines that result in the internet, mobile technology, and the Internet of Things. So you use your cell phone or you use your computer, to purchase goods and services, on the internet, and you are able to have those goods and services shipped directly to you. Now, for the majority of people, they have access to these abilities. They have access to the ability to use a cell phone, to purchase things, or they have access to, a computer, but for the rest of the people that are too poor or impoverished to the point that they don't have these capabilities, how would they be able to use or connect to this digital economy? So therefore, they want to introduce a way for everybody to connect, whether you have a computer or not. And what they're going to do is, and what they have already begun to do, they have signed into law to create a digital wallet for each individual within the United States, whether you be rich or whether you be poor. And eventually that digital wallet, all right, it starts off by being a digital, bank account that they open for you. But the way that you will access that and be able to, buy and sell is going to be through the RFID chip. which is going to store your digital currency, or your paperless currency on that, if you receive it. Now, what Esau is going to do, all right, and is doing, in order to get everybody on this, digital economy, or to use this digital economy, he's going to make conditions of living so deplorable and so hard and so bad to the point where people are forced into complying. So he's going to take away your ability to use cash. He's going to take away your ability to use coinage. They have already begun to say that those things were filthy and that they carry the CV. And so much that people are going to be afraid to use that. And further, to force you to get a V. And if you don't get that V, and by now you should know what V means, all right, within the lingo that we use in code, that V represents their potion, their sorcery that they want to put inside of you. If you don't receive that, then you won't be able to go to work. You won't be able to have access to your essentials. But for those that receive, his V, they'll be able to maintain and operate within society as normal, as they were prior to this whole situation going down. But eventually they're going to force everyone to receive an RFID chip or a brain implant. And it's through that RFID chip or that brain implant that you'll be able to buy and sell through their digital economy. In which, to explain it again, it's like Amazon. You go to Amazon. Amazon is like a marketplace on the internet, where you buy the things that you need from it and they have it shipped to you, which pretty much cuts out, a big shipping company that you will have to go through in order to transfer your goods to you. They'll just ship it directly to you. Or if it's a audio book or a book you can read, you will buy it and it will come directly to your phone. If it's a song, or if it's a movie, or a subscription to watch TV, you do it directly through the internet, without going through a cable subscription, or whatnot. So it's pretty much cutting out, if you will, the middleman. But it can also work as you going into a store, and instead of using, physical cash, which is gold and silver, but for the most part, you don't use that to purchase now. You use the dollar. So instead of using dollars or coinage, you would use a payment system that you pay through the internet, and they receive the payment through the internet, and you walk out of the store with that physical good. All right, this is the system that they are setting up, as the mark of the beast system. And through what is known as the Great Reset, all right, this is how they're going to tackle poverty, by also introducing what is known as universal basic income, such as what they're doing in China. And that's the reason that I read those two articles, to pretty much outline an example of what they'll be doing within the system to come. Now, all of this on the surface, it seems good, on the surface, it seems good. And it seems like the plan, but all of this is wicked in the eyes of Yahweh Bashmiah Shai. Because at the end of the day, what they'll be doing is stripping away your liberties and freedom and enslaving the people, and what's within the dark and behind the scenes is ultimately they're trying to number the tribes of Israel, and ultimately to cut them off, so that they will continue no longer to be a people, and so that Esau can continue his rulership and reign through his new world order, and through this new system that he's implemented. Now, the Great Reset, what is the Great Reset? The Great Reset is resetting the world's economy, starting over, building back better, reducing sickness, reducing poverty, and all of these are problems and situations that were caused by Esau to begin with. And that's where you get, order ab chaos, pressure from above, pressure from below. And as the Spirit has been having me mention, the Hegelian dialectic, because all of these things were done by Esau purposely, to get to this point, to feed himself and to feed his belly. So the Great Resets are remarks from the World Economic Forum, which I'm going to jump down, all right? And the part that I'm going to read, it says, second, let me talk about smarter growth. Because through the internet of things, through the internet, they'll be able to grow their economy and become even richer. You've seen this through Jeff Bezos. You've seen this through Mark Zuckerberg and other individuals who have these online marketplaces, if you will, where people were able to go through this pandemic, to purchase, buy, and sell, or to receive entertainment or whatnot, and they did it directly through the internet. And because they were purchasing those goods directly through the internet, that caused, individuals like Bezos, for his money to grow, which further, if he pays taxes, that grows the economy and whatnot. All right. It says, we know the digital economy is the big winner of this crisis, but we must not allow the digital divide to widen so that some countries and communities fall further behind. All right, this will bring more pain than gain in the future. So what they're going to do is they're going to introduce this mark of the beast system in all countries, whether they be, how can I say it? Whether they be poverty-stricken nations or whether they be nations that have decent economies. It doesn't matter. Everywhere around the world. All right. They're going to have these towers set up, that introduce and allow people to access the internet, these 5G towers, and through these towers, they'll be able to go into a physical store and to purchase things through the internet, or they'll be able to use, whether it's through their brain chip being connected to the internet and purchase it directly from their mind, or whether they have a physical computer in front of them or a phone, they'll be able to do it directly through that. And they'll also introduce something called UBI, Universal Basic Income, which if you take the mark of the beast, this is an income stream that they will promise unto you, to pretty much live poverty, So it is critical that institutions like the International Monetary Fund support investments that will shrink the digital divide, working in partnership with the World Banks and others. We also need to think carefully about how to make sure the jump in growth and profitability in the digital sector leads to benefits that are shared across our societies. So they're going to cause everyone everywhere to receive a mark, whether they rich or poor, whether they free or bond. So this is something that's going to happen everywhere within all nations. All right. And that's the reason why the scripture says this, Revelations 3:10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, that I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this mark of the beast system is going to be implemented all over the globe, everywhere. And everywhere they're going to cause, like it says right here, Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So when you go into the word for rich, the word there for rich is pluseos, and it reads wealthy, abounding in material resources, metaphor abounding, abundantly supplied, abounding rich. All right. So they're going to cause rich people, because this is dealing with people. It's not dealing with nations. All right. It's dealing with people. They're going to cause rich people, and they're going to also cause poor people. The word there for poor is tokos, and it says reduced to beggary. All right. Begging asking alms, destitute of wealth, influence, position, honor, which poor people, the poor and needy, those are the ones that sit in the marketplaces, all right, begging, and they're also saying that they're the ones that are the sickest. So they want to start giving them, all right, their V first, which is going to lead into what? The RFID chip. In each individual, whether they're rich or poor, they're going to be able to buy and sell using the RFID chip, all right, which is the mark of the beast. So it says, and he calls of all, both rich and poor, all right, free and bond, to receive a mark. That word there for mark is charagma, all right, which the word charagma means a thing inserted. But then you have the root word, which is karax, which means a pale or a stake, or a palisade, because that's what they're going to use to put their charagma inside of you. They're going to use a syringe that looks like a pale or a stake. And the root word of karax is grapho, which grapho is the information. The barcode system that was created, which the 3 long lines in the barcode represents 666. That's the information that is inside the charagma, in which they put that charagma inside of you through the karax. And the karax, like I said, they're going to use that, the syringe is the karax. They're going to use that to put the mark, the RFID chip, which is the charagma, inside of you. And inside of that charagma, you have information written on it, which will allow you to scan things. Now, I want to go down to the word for buy and sell, because it says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So when you go into the word for buy, the word there is agorazo, all right, which means to be in the marketplace, to attend it, all right, to do business there, to buy or sell, all right, of idle people, to hunt, all right, the marketplace, lounge there, which shows you that this isn't dealing with the mark, which is the RFID chip. All right, it has to be the RFID chip. All right, the charagma isn't philosophy. It isn't dating white women. It isn't bowing down and worshiping Cesare Borgia. All right, you can date a white woman. Solomon did it. All right, you can date an Edomite. All right, and deal with her, pop her, whatever. All right, we all at some point in time we're into Christianity, but we repented of that and we're brought into the truth. All right, you're not going to go to a marketplace and they're going to say, well, do you believe that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior? All right, the whole agenda of Esau Edom is to do away with all of the world's religions and cause everybody to worship Satan anyways, which is their God. All right, they're not going to ask you that. All right, they're going to ask you to either swipe your hand or scan your forehead, man. All right, which is going to have their mark of the beast inside of it. So the fact that it says buy and sell, this is dealing with a marketplace, which you have online markets and you have physical markets that you can that within their new system, you will purchase things through the internet. All right, you would transfer money or receive money through the internet. All right, and you would transfer it from your digital wallet, which would be the RFID chip or the brain implant, into their accounts or into their RFID chip or brain implant. The word for sell, which is poleo, and it says to barter, to sell, sellers. So you won't be able to buy or sell within this new system unless you have the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. Now, to everyone that received this, and fall into compliance with Esau Edom, all right, to receive his false salvation and his false deliverance, because he's going to cause problems in the earth, all right, which are going to force you to comply with him if you don't have integrity. All right, but if you have integrity, you're going to say to hell with this devil and this system, and you're going to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, this devil is, putting together, a strategic plan, to pretty much enslave the world. Because when you go back to further prove that this mark of the beast system would not be anything dealing with Esau's philosophy, but that you will have to receive his physical carnal mark. It says, here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. When you go into the word for, because the 636 is Kaizai stigma, which Elder Yashawama goes into this. The X represents, crossing out, because they're trying to cross out the Messiah. The Zai looks like a snake or a serpent coiling, and it also goes back to, I forget, the little symbol that they use within the medical field, because through the medical field, they're pushing out, this CV, or C19, and they're making people afraid, and getting people to the point of where they're going to receive their V, their potion, their sorcery, and eventually to receive their microchip, which is the mark of the beast, all right, as a form of salvation, to be delivered from these problems that they have caused in the earth, all right, as a form of deliverance, but it isn't true deliverance and it's not true salvation. So through that, they're going to put their stigma inside of you. Now, what is a stigma? What is a stigma? Galatians, the 6th chapter, in the 17th verse, it says, from henceforth, let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of our Lord Yahushai, which this was Paul speaking. Now, how are the marks put inside Yahushai? All right, there was a sharp object that impelled him. All right, through his hands and through his feet, he was pierced within the side. So that's how his marks were put inside of him. Well, Esau wants to put his mark on you by way of sticking his syringe inside of you and putting his brain implant or his RFID chip in you. Now, the word there for stigma, it says a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their masters or commanders, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way to with the token of their gods. All right. The primary root is stizo, to stick, an example prick, a mark, incised or punch for recognition of ownership. So Esau wants to put you in slavery. All right. So his whole agenda and plan, all right, is deceitful, man. They even got the Pope saying, what did the Pope say? I think he said something along the lines of, traditional medicine won't work, or something along the lines of, but they even got the Pope deceiving your ass, man. Earlier this year, they made it seem like he caught it, as if he wasn't exempt and God couldn't protect him. So if he can't protect the vicar on earth, how would he protect your ass? Which is all false, it's all bull crap, at the end of the day, and those of you that become deceived by this man, all right, you're going to be head in derision. All right, you're going to be trodden underfoot. You're going to be destroyed. Don't fall for his gimmicks and his schemes, man. But continue to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the rock of our salvation, and that's how we're going to be delivered. All right, this man wants to put you in slavery. This seductive plan, or this deceitful plan, he makes it seem as if it's good, but really, he's trying to enslave you, man. And cause you to serve him and not believe in the Messiah, not believe in our Messiah, our salvation, which is Yahweh Shai. That's how we're going to be delivered, man. All right. And those that take this chip, they're going to be destroyed, man. And those that resist and that hold fast to their faith and integrity into the end, they're going to get the victory over this beast and this system. Revelation 15:1, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Yahweh. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image, and over the mark, over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having are the harps of Yahweh. So this is speaking about those that overcame, those that got the victory through keeping the commandments of the Most High Heavenly Father, holding fast to that testimony of Yahweh Shai, and having faith. All right, they were delivered by the chariots, and they were staying in the chariots, looking through the windows, through the firmament of American Israel on fire. All right, because they're going to get nuked. They're going to be destroyed through thermonuclear destruction. But before that destruction come, this man has to set up his mark of the beast system. All right, which he's going to cause people to receive his RFID chip in the brain implant. And those that receive that are going to be destroyed right along with, all right, Babylon the whore, man. So with that, I truly hope that this lesson was edifying. Until the next time, and shalom.